Today I'm helping you plan and launch your solo podcast in less than a week using the tools you already have if you're a content creator. I'll guide you through the process from pre-launch to post-launch so you can finally get out of research mode and skip the trial and error because I already did that for you. To get started, here are some things to think about when you're starting your podcast. If you already have a YouTube channel or a blog, then you know the usual. You have your goals, which can be to generate leads, traffic, subscribers, promote your products and services, connect and engage with listeners, repurpose your old content and grow your audience on multiple platforms, or monetize your content for your creator business. For your audience, think about who's your ideal audience, what are their needs, problems, struggles, or pain points, why should they listen to you, and how do you help them be great? For the format, will it be solo, interview, or conversational with a co-host? For now, you can start small as a solo show, then level up to a co-host or interview style podcast. What about the structure of your podcast? Is it going to be long form or short form? Will it have an intro and outro? Will the intro and outro be pre-recorded? Or are you skipping all of that and get it straight to the point? Are there sections for your ads or segments like Q&As? For your release schedule, when will you publish episodes? Bi-weekly, weekly, or monthly? Since this is a low effort podcast, keep it simple with a short form content and start with bi-weekly episodes. Then if you want to, you can move up to weekly later on. For topics, pick 3 to 4 evergreen topics, something that you care about, want to be known for, and something that you can talk about a year from now. The pillars can be educational, inspirational, entertaining, and personal. For promotional content, remember to include your products and services either in the episode or passively in the show notes. Make it easy for your audience to buy or book with you. To start your research, what are some podcasts that you listen to now? What do you like about them? How can you recreate or add some elements from those shows to your show? For a podcast in your niche, what's missing in that space? How can you fill in the gaps? And what sets you apart from the rest? When you answer those questions, think of it as your elevator pitch, which you can use for your about section of your podcast show page. Also take a look at podcast names and cover art used. Read their about section and description on their podcast show page. You can check out websites like Podcast Charts by Spotify or goodpods.com for inspiration. After your research, brainstorm some names. Make sure your name is unique and short so it'll fit on graphics and your cover art. Search your name on podcast platforms and Google. If you plan on creating a website or a social media profile for your podcast, see if the name is available on namecheck.com. If you already have a newsletter, make it easy on yourself and do what I did and use that name for your podcast. For the tagline, come up with a short phrase as a one-liner. For example, a podcast for digital creators or business tips for creative writers. For the about section, this is one of the first things we see on the podcast show page. Some platforms have a character limit, so under 600 characters should be okay. And you can always change this later on. Here's an example script for your show. Name of your podcast is a bi-weekly podcast for digital creators, hosted by your name. Every other Wednesday, I'll share actionable tips about your topic. Each episode will go over topics like your themes. Listen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or Substack. For more info about me and the podcast name, head over to and add your link to your website. If you can't think of a name or tagline, plug all your information into ChatGPT, so your topics, audience, your schedule, and format to come up with ideas. And then you can mix and match your favorite ones to create your own unique name. If you have YouTube content already, then you can use the tools that you have now. You'll need a tool like Notion to manage your content. For recording and editing audio, use Descript, Riverside, or CapCut. They all have a transcript text-based editing, so you can easily remove the pauses, the uhs, the ums, and the repeats, just like you're editing a Google Doc. If you have videos and you want to turn them into audio files, you can use those same tools to extract the audio. The hosting platform you're using is Substack, which generates the RSS feed, and you'll use that RSS link on your podcast platforms like Spotify or Apple. Once you publish an episode on Substack, it'll automatically distribute it for you, so you post once there and you're good to go. And I'll go over that in the next section. If you only want to use YouTube instead of Substack, you can launch your podcast under YouTube Studio, just like you're uploading a video. Another tool you can use is Milanote, which I'm using in this video. It has templates for researching, planning, scripting, and launching your podcast and episodes. I have 3 videos here that I'll link below that'll help you with your content creation process. The content management with Notion. This is a walkthrough of a Notion template and where you'll manage all your content for YouTube if that's your primary platform, plus manage your content for your newsletter and social media. The content plan video. This is a video that uses a simple YouTube marketing strategy called the 3H framework. That's help, hub, and hero content. And you can use this with the 12-week year plan to stay consistent. For the scripting video, this one is a 90-minute video script template. To use it, you just have to brain dump your ideas and notes in Notion or Google Docs and follow the workflow to create a structured outline. You can customize this script for your audio scripts. Once you have your name and tagline, use Canva to design your graphics. You'll need a square podcast cover, so 1400 by 1400, and another one if you plan on using a different one for each episode. Don't just look through the podcast covers, also look through the album and playlist covers for inspiration. If you haven't already, sign up for a Canva Pro trial for more design options. Now it's time to start planning your episodes. First thing to do is set a launch date so you'll have a deadline. So set up for a week from now, 2 weeks, or a month from now. Now that you have your launch date, your topics, and your name, it's time to start planning your first 3 episodes. Start by outlining your podcast trailer. This will be 5 to 10 minutes of you sharing with your audience the name, what the podcast is about, who's it for, who you are, why you created this podcast, where they can listen to you and find you, and when will you publish episodes. You can use that elevator pitch here too, just to expand on it. You then record and edit the trailer to upload it in the next section. After that, pick a topic or a theme and start outlining your next episodes. Remember, you don't have to start from scratch. If you already have YouTube videos in stock, you could fill up your YouTube podcast playlist with those videos and use those as starter episodes while you work on the other ones. You can use those tools from earlier to extract the audio from the video and upload it to Substack or your podcast platforms. If you have old popular blog posts, you can ask ChatGPT to turn the post into a short podcast episode or outline. For the show notes and description, make sure you have the right keywords so you can show up in search. Add timestamps with the key takeaways, resources you mentioned, and a link to a call to action like your services page or resources page, and where they can connect with you on social media to keep the conversation going. If you use Riverside, the show notes are created for you when you record or upload an episode, and you can use that and add it to your description of your episode. Something to think about if you don't use social media is how you will interact with your listeners after publishing a new episode. This is why Substack is a perfect space for your podcast. You can publish your episodes there and folks can leave comments, chat with you, answer polls and Q&As, and you can send email updates. When you're ready to launch, you can start by uploading your trailer. Create your account on Substack if you haven't already. Fill out the basics. And in the branding section, make sure this here is set to everyone. This is so you can receive emails from podcast platforms when you need to verify or claim your account. In the website section, create a new tag called podcasts or the name of your podcast. Then in the podcast section, you can create yours here. You add your title, description, and your name. You upload your logo if you created one, and then click Create Section. From podcast settings, you can fill in the info with your title, the about summary, and this is going to show up on podcast platforms, so keep it under the 600 character limit, and then add your name. For the RSS feed, you will copy this and add it to the following platforms after you create an account on Spotify, Apple, and YouTube. You can follow the directions when you set up your account and make sure to pick I already have a podcast so you can sync and claim the one that you created on Substack. They'll create a link for you to copy and you'll paste it under each platform section. For Pocket Cast and Overcast, You don't need to create an account. You just copy the RSS link and paste it on the page. You can choose your podcast categories and genres here. And check this if you want if you want Substack to add a tab for your podcast. Here's where you upload your cover art and save here once you're done. To upload your trailer from the dashboard, you can go under Post tab, click New Post, and then Audio or Video. And drop the trailer episode here. Add your title, but keep it under 60 characters so that it doesn't cut off. Add your subtitle, your show notes. Under Settings, you can send it to everyone. Or if you have paid content for your subscribers, you could send it to your paid subscribers or founding members. You can allow comments from everyone. And here's where you add the podcast tag that you created earlier. You can send a test email to yourself. And then here's your SEO options here. So you can edit the title, description, and the URL. Then after you upload it, you can open Settings here. And here's where you'll find the transcript. You can upload yours, correct it, or download it. And in the next section, I'll show you how to repurpose your transcript for your blog, email, and social media. After you hit publish, you're all set and your podcast is officially launched. It'll automatically show up on all the podcast platforms that you set up. It may take some time to show up on those platforms, so check back the next day. From your dashboard on Substack, you can go under the podcast tab, and here's where you'll see your stats. You can also check out your analytics in Apple, Spotify, and YouTube Studio for information on the listens, views, or downloads. To customize your Substack, go back to Settings, and in the Basics section under Site Design, click Customize. Under Homepage, you can choose the post layout, newspaper, highlight, or podcast. Under Sections, you click Podcast, and you can style the header here. Under the podcast tag section, here's how it will show up based on your layout. Your podcast will now have a section here for your episodes. Substack lets you create video podcasts and upload them to YouTube, Spotify, and Apple. All you do is upload a file and add your show notes, and then add an audio file to the RSS feed. You can also add video podcasts to Spotify by going to your Spotify account, and under episodes, you can click the three dots to upload your video. A survey from podcast hosts showed that 47.7% of the podcasters struggle with promoting their podcasts. I know for me, I struggle with promoting my content and thought I had to create new material for every platform, which led to burnout, no videos or posts. I didn't think about repurposing videos, so for this part, I'll show you how to do that by turning one episode or transcript into at least 5 pieces of content so you can promote your show and maximize reach. Starting with the show notes, if you're using Riverside, then you can copy and edit the show notes. And while you're there, you can extract the clips from the episode and use those for short form videos. With the newsletter, you can add value by expanding on the topic and summarizing the highlights, sharing the behind the scenes, or giving a preview or early access to the next episode, and also providing links to where they can listen to the episode. For the call to action, have your listeners leave a review and give feedback. You can use ChatGPT to turn this transcript into a 500-word email newsletter. For your website, create a landing page for the podcast and add an email form for listeners to sign up for updates. Add a section and share some info about you and the show, and a podcast player with all the episodes. And this could be a plugin if you use WordPress, or copy the embed link for Apple or Spotify and paste it on the podcast page. You can improve your SEO by publishing each episode, just like a blog post, using the transcript, or asking ChatGPT to turn the transcript into a SEO optimized blog post. Remember to add the headers and the images to break up the text. and also add a video version if you're on YouTube, or the audio player from Spotify or Apple in the post. So your listeners now have the option to read, listen, or watch your episode in one spot. You can publish the video version on YouTube, and if you're off camera, you can convert the audio file into a video by adding the podcast cover, animation, B-roll or stock videos, slides, infographics, or audiogram. You can use the snippets from Riverside for YouTube Shorts. You can create a few pins and link them to your episode post on your website, the YouTube video, or the podcast episode on Apple or Spotify. Pin them to your boards and any related group boards that you're in. For social media, you can turn your episodes into social media posts using these prompts. If you're on Instagram, you can create an Instagram reel summarizing the transcript. You can convert transcript into a carousel post, or you can turn the transcript into a post or thread promoting this episode. Once you have your process and your workflow down, remember to create templates for visuals in Canva. Have a template you can reuse for each episode, the show notes, the email, and the blog posts. You'll only have to copy the template draft, fill it in, copy and paste it, upload your audio file, and then publish it. You can batch outline episodes in advance so that when it's time to record, your script is ready to go. To automate your workflow, you can schedule social media posts with Buffer or within the podcast platform or hosting platform. You can schedule your episodes in Substack so they can automatically be distributed to those platforms. You can add your to-dos and due dates to your calendar or project management tool. You can set up recurring tasks on Notion as reminders that it's time to work on your next episode. And you could create a pre-recorded clip for things you repeat over and over again, like the intro. Under each episode, remember to add a call to action for your listeners to leave a review, a rating, or a voice message on Apple or Spotify, or they can leave a comment in the Q&A box. They can also do the same if you're using Substack as your hosting platform under Threads, Notes, or Chat. Track your performance on all platforms, or use chartable.com to track your analytics from your hosting platform and all podcast apps. And after a few months of podcasting, this is the perfect time to make changes based on the feedback and performance. You can remove what you don't like or add segments like a tip or tool of the week, a mini case study, or answer questions from those comments and messages from listeners. You can change the time or day you upload episodes. If your audience listens more on Spotify, you can add the Q&A feature or a poll feature for engagement. There are a few ways you can monetize your content, starting with self-promoting your products and services on an episode to turn your listeners into clients and customers. You can join affiliate programs like Amazon Associates or Impact.com, or if you're signed up for a partner program with Asana or Notion, you can add the affiliate links to your show notes. You can set up subscriptions on Substack, Spotify, or Apple as soon as you sign up. Unlike YouTube, where you have to get a certain number of subscribers and watch hours to get monetized, you don't have to wait with those podcast platforms. For your subscribers, you can provide exclusive content, ad-free episodes, archived episodes, or office hours. There's also working with advertisers and sponsors, where companies can pay you for ad placement. And last but not least, when you're ready to outsource your least favorite parts of the content creation process, we can work together to smooth things out. I offer project management and content management services for content creators, plus a VIP tech day to help you launch your podcast, website, or set up your CRM tool like Honeybook or Dubsado. So if you're interested, head over to this link for more info. And while you're there, you can view the full transcript for this video, linked to this board on Milanote with the checklist and the ChatGPT prompts.